Welcome to the New Zealand Net Radio podcast. We hope you enjoy music shows and mixes. We have to edit the music on the podcast. To listen to the full show, visit our website at www.nznetradio.net.nz and click the replay service link in the menu, or download our app and use the shows tab. Now, on with the show.
In the mix, One Hit Wonders.
Welcome to In the Mix, I'm Bevan, and today it's One Hit Wonders, Volume 1. We're in the 80s today. I've been wanting to do this series for a while. Let's agree on the rules, because One Hit Wonder gets thrown around loosely and there's usually some hot debates about it. For our purposes, a One Hit Wonder is an artist who scored just one top 40 single on at least one side of the Atlantic. One hit on the American Billboard Hot 100 or one on the UK singles chart. And that little phrase, one side of the Atlantic, is going to do some heavy lifting, because one of the great quirks of pop is the actors. They just had one moment when everything lined up. So for the next hour, 13 records, 13 stories, and a fresh appreciation of just how strange and how wonderful the top 40 really is. We open with a record that went to number 1 in Britain and stalled one place short in America. And the man singing lead already had one of the most famous voices in music. This is Philip Bailey and Phil Collins. That is Easy Lover from Philip Bailey and Phil Collins from 1984. The wonderful thing is that song almost never existed. Bailey, and if that soaring falsetto sounds familiar, it should. He's the voice of Earth, Wind and Fire. He was finishing his solo album Chinese Wall with Phil Collins producing, right at the peak of Collins's mid-80s golden run. At the very end of the sessions, Bailey asked if they could write something together. So one night they just started jamming, built a verse and a chorus going round and round, and recorded it there and then so they wouldn't forget it. The bassist in the room, Nathan East, got a co-writing credit. That's his hook driving the whole thing. It went to number 1 for 4 weeks in the UK and number 2 in America and earned a Grammy nomination. And it's our first lovely technicality. As a solo artist, that was Philip Bailey's only top 40 hit, even though he's an Earth, Wind and Fire legend, and even though it's billed as a duet. The One Hit Wonder is a very fancy disguise. Nathan East went on to be one of the most recorded bassists alive. Eric Clapton, Daft Punk's Get Lucky, and Easy Lover is where he made his name as a writer. Next up, we've got a transatlantic quirk, as I promised. In North America, Corey Hart is no one-hit wonder. 9 top 40 hits in the States, and Never Surrender went all the way to number 3. In Canada, he was a bona fide teen idol. But in the UK, this, number 24, was the only time he ever cracked the top 40. So tonight he qualifies as a one-hit wonder on the UK side of the Atlantic only, and I think that's worth saying plainly. And the song is Stranger Than You Remember. Hart has said it started as satire, a dystopia where a kind of fashion police force everyone to wear shades, before it turned into a song about jealousy and paranoia, watching a lover you don't quite trust. Keep that word paranoia in your head, because we're staying right there. If Sunglasses at Night is about the feeling of being watched, our next record is the anthem of being watched, and it features the most famous uncredited guest vocal of the decade.
This is New Zealand Net Radio.
In the mix. One hit wonders.
Somebody's Watching Me from Rockwell 1984, and yes, that chorus, the bit everybody actually sings, that's Michael Jackson, uncredited, a favourite between families. The backstory is pure Motown. Rockwell's real name is Kennedy Gordy. He's the son of Berry Gordy, the man who founded Motown. And the story goes he signed to the label under a stage name on purpose, so he'd be judged on merit, with Berry supposedly not realising at first that he'd signed his own son. Then Michael and Jermaine Jackson, childhood friends, came in to help. Michael took the hook, and a paranoid little synth record went to number 2 in America and number 6 in the UK. The same honest footnote as Corey Hart, Rockwell had a second, smaller US hit, Obscene Phone Caller, reached 35, so strictly he's a 2-hit act in America and a 1-hit wonder in the UK. But what a hook to be remembered by. 2 records in a row now about being watched, the sunglasses and the surveillance, which tells you something about the mood of 1984. And from paranoia, we go to something that sounds like pure sunshine and absolutely is not. This is one of the most misunderstood records ever to reach the top 40.
I study nuclear science. I love my classes. I got a crazy teacher. He wears dark glasses. Things are going great, and they're only getting better. So bright, I gotta wear shades. I gotta wear shades. I gotta wear shades. I gotta wear shades.
Timbuk 3 from 1986. Number 19 in America, number 21 in the UK. And I meant it, this is one of the great pop misreading of the decade. It gets played at graduations and adverts at ball games and is a big thumbs-up feel-good anthem, and it is nothing of the sort. Listen to the lyric and the narrator's dazzling future is a job in the nuclear arms industry. That line, I studies nuclear science. Against a backdrop of looming annihilation, the shades aren't for success, they're for the flash. Songwriter Pat McDonald spent years quietly furious that everyone heard optimism where he'd written dread. And the band's name, Timbuk 3, were a duo, Pat McDonald and his wife, Barbara Kay. And the 3 was the boombox they brought on stage as their rhythm section. 2 people in a drum machine, a Grammy nomination, and 1 indelible, sardonic, harmonica-driven hit. Now, if a pop song about the bomb sounds far-fetched, our next record is about the actual war breaking out. And it starts with a handful of balloons. It went to number 2 in America in its original German and number 1 in the UK in English. This is Nena.
You and I in a little toy shop, buy a bag of balloons with the money we've got, set them free at the break of dawn, till one by one they were gone. Back at base, box in the software, flash the message, something's out there, floating in the summer sky. 99 red balloons go by. It's all over and I'm standing pretty in this dust that was the city. If I could find a souvenir just to prove the world was here. And here is a red balloon. I think of you and let it go.
Nena, 99 Luftballons. And here's something special, because Nena are one of only 2 acts on the whole show today who pull off the pure one-hit wonder, a single hit on both sides of the Atlantic, and nothing else. The German language original went to number 2 in America, kept off the top only by Van Halen's excellent Jump, while the English rewrite 99 Red Balloons topped the UK chart. And the origin is one of my favourite stories in pop. The band's guitarist, Carlo Cajas, was at a Rolling Stones concert in West Berlin and watched as balloons released into the crowd drifted up and away over the wall towards the east. He imagined one of them showing up on a military radar screen mistaken for an enemy aircraft. And that's the whole song. 99 balloons trigger a jumpy early warning system. The general scramble the jets, and a harmless bit of nothing spirals into 99 years of war. A Cold War fable disguised as a bit of bubblegum pop. From Cold post-war dread to pure escapism now, the most quotable, wordless hook of the decade from Italy by way of Northern Ireland.
New Zealand Net Radio. In the mix. One hit wonders.
Tarzan Boy, Baltimora, number 3 in the UK, number 15 in America. And that's the other pure one-hit wonder on the show today. A hit on both sides and never seen again. This is a one-hit wonder with a hidden double entry, though. The face of Baltimora, the man dancing through the video, the front man, was Jimmy McShane from Darien, Northern Ireland. But the lead vocal you're actually hearing was largely the Italian producer Maurizio Bassi. It's a classic Italo disco construction, a studio confection built entirely around one irresistible jungle yodel of a hook. It had 2 chart lives too, a hit in 85, then a US comeback in 1993, off the back of a Listerine advert and a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film. Sadly, Jimmy McShane died in 1995 at just 37. And now we go right to the top of the decade, to the record that arguably closed the disco era. And remarkably, it's essentially the work of one man from Minneapolis.
You take me to Funkytown. Won't you take me down to Funkytown? Won't you take me down to
Funkytown from Lips Inc. Number 1 in America for 4 weeks, number 2 in the UK, and a hit in something like 28 countries, which set a Guinness record at the time. And Lips Inc., spelt L-I-P-P-S Inc., is a pun on lip sync, which is your first clue, because this was really a one-man studio project. Steven Greenberg wrote it, produced it, and played most of it. The unforgettable voice on top belongs to Cynthia Johnson, a saxophone player and a former Miss Black Minnesota. And here's the irony baked into the lyric. It's about wanting to leave Minneapolis for a town with a bigger music scene. Won't you take me to Funkytown? Written just before Minneapolis became one of the funkiest cities on earth, thanks to a fellow called Prince. And from the dance floor to deep space now. And I told you a second German guest was coming, a new wave record that dares to write a sequel to a David Bowie classic.
New Zealand Net Radio. In the mix. One hit wonders.
Major Tom coming home there from Peter Schilling, number 14 in America and a number 1 back home in Germany. If it felt familiar, that's deliberate. This is a sequel. It picks up the story of Major Tom, the lost astronaut. David Bowie sent into orbit in Space Oddity back in 1969 and revisited in Ashes to Ashes. Schilling recorded it first in German, Völlig losgelöst. Sorry about my pronunciation, which means totally detached, then recut it in English for the world. That's our second slice of Neue Deutsche Welle tonight after Nena. and it's a US one-hit wonder in the truest sense. It never troubled our top 40 in Britain at all, perhaps partly because Bowie's own Major Tom already lived in the charts. Now, from an act far bigger at home than abroad to the exact reverse, our next band are revered by musicians the world over, had a whole run of hits in the UK, and are cited as founding fathers of what we now call post-rock. And yet in America, they managed precisely one top 40 single. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favourite bands, Talk Talk. Talk, It's My Life from 1984, number 31 in America and astonishingly their only US top 40 hit ever. I say astonishingly because Talk are anything but a novelty act. In the UK, they were a serious chart band, a whole string of hits, and then instead of cashing in, frontman Mark Hollis led them somewhere extraordinary, two of the most quietly radical albums of the century, Spirit of Eden and Laughingstock, records that more or less invented what we now call post-rock. Before Hollis simply walked away from music altogether to raise his family. He died in 2019, one of the great finishing acts in pop. So this is a US only one-hit wonder, the perfect mirror to Corey Hart at the top of the show. Right, big gear change now. Enough synthesizers and arc rock. Time for something greasy, grinning, and gloriously simple from a bar band in Atlanta, Georgia.
I got a little change in my pocket going jingle-lang-a-lang. Wants to call you on the telephone, baby. I give you a ring, but each time we talk, I get the same old thing. Always no huggy, no kissy until I get a wedding ring. My honey, my baby, don't put my love upon no shelf.
Net Radio. In the mix. One hit wonders.
Before that, we had the Georgia Satellites, so keep your hands to yourself, proof the 80s weren't all synthesizers. That went to number 2 in America in early 1987, kept off the top by Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer, which is a very 1987 way to be denied. Frontman Dan Beard said the song basically wrote itself on the bus home from his day job at a construction site. And you can hear it. It's a Chuck Berry riff and a punchline, the tale of a fella whose sweetheart won't get past first base until there's a wedding ring involved. No huggy, no kissy until I get the wedding ring. Loose, funny hand claps and all. And then that song, When in Rome, The Promise, a band from Manchester, 1988. And here's that flip again. That one went to top 12 in America, but barely dented the chart at home, stalling down in the 50s. So a British band who are officially an American one-hit wonder. It's peak late 80s romantic synth-pop. Twin lead singers Clive Farrington and Andrew Mann trading that big, earnest, open-hearted chorus, and it found a whole new audience decades later when it soundtracked the closing scene of Napoleon Dynamite in 2004, which is why people half your age know every word. Now let's bring the funk for the home straight from the Rick James stable, his own proteges named after one of his songs, a slice of 1985 boogie that strutted all the way to number 7, the Mary Jane Girls. Mary Jane Girls in My House, number 7 in the summer of 85, number 3 R&B, and number 1 on the dance floor. That was a Rick James production through and through. He assembled the group, named them after his own song, Mary Jane, wrote it and produced it. His fingerprints are all over that slinky groove, even though the lead voice belongs to Jojo McDuffel. It never charted in the UK top 40, it stalled down at 77, so it's another American one-hit wonder and a lovely reminder of how much brilliant funk was living just under the pop surface in the mid-80s. And we're closing tonight with a one-hit wonder, number 23 in America, number 8 in the UK, and her only pop hit on either side. But Patrice Rushen is a serious musician, a jazz piano prodigy who went on to become the first woman ever to serve as musical director of the Grammy Awards. She did the same job at the Emmys and the NAACP Image Awards, and was Janet Jackson's musical director on tour. And that bass line you're going to hear, played by Freddie Reddy Washington, became one of the most borrowed hooks in all of music. Will Smith built Men in Black on it. George Michael wove it into Fast Love, so her one-hit quietly soundtracked the next 20 years of pop. And that's the secret of the one-hit wonder. Sometimes the single hit is the smallest start of the story. That's where we'll leave part 1. 13 records, 13 lightning strikes, and a reminder that the top 40 keeps its best stories in the places you'd least expect. Next time on part 2, we'll head into the 90s where the wonders get weirder and the hits got bigger. Thanks for joining me today.